Yeah, I'm here to beat this dead horse. Pause, just in case. Should have been happening. Should have happened a long time ago, rather. But here we are, and it is finally happening. Don't know why it didn't happen at the beginning of the season. Um, and if you read the title, then you already know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Cam Reddish, the Atlanta Hawks' 10th overall pick 3 years ago, not being in the starting lineup, even though his talent is and his potential is immense. He's always been a bench guy. I'm going to tell you why he should be starting, but I'm also going to tell you why I think he hadn't been starting up until now after the intro. It's your boy MANDOWN ZO, 1/5 of the MANDOWN podcast, and I'm back with another edition of Bird Dog Brave Talk, where I talk about my favorite sports teams. And today, we're talking about the enigma that is Cam Reddish. All right, for those of you that don't know, we're talking about a 5-star recruit coming out of Norristown, PA, I believe, outside of Philly. We're talking about 6'7" at that time, probably about 6'9" now, 7'2" wingspan, bag, easy mints. Definitely has all the tools necessary. You could tell then he was a pro, just because of his skills at that size with the ball in his hands, his ability to create his own shot, his jump shot, and the smoothness of his athletic ability. Dude's a pro. He was a pro back then. He's a pro now, of course. Chose to go to Duke, and for whatever reason, headlines, favoritism, whatever the case may be, he was chosen to be the third option in the big three in college of R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson. Now, with Zion, I understand. With R.J., not so much other than the name. Not saying he's not a good basketball player, but it's clear skillfully Cam has been and is still, in my opinion, better than these dudes and has more potential to lead a team than those guys. Anyway, he was the third option, dealt with a groin injury all year, did not sit out, played, did not live up to the expectations. They didn't win a championship. Nevertheless, he went ahead into the draft, got into the draft, fell a little bit. I thought for sure he was a top 5 pick. Fell a little bit down to 10 to the Atlanta Hawks in the draft pick that we got from the Dallas Mavericks in the Trae Young, Luka Doncic trade. He comes in, doesn't have an offseason because of that groin injury, has surgery, comes in underwhelming towards the end of his, the middle of his, rookie season. He starts to put it together. You start to see glimpses and flashes of the Cam Reddish that we knew he could be. Goes on into year 2, of course, which was last year. And Lloyd Pierce is the coach. We start off 14-20. Cam has some more injury problems. I think it was Achilles last year. He's sitting out a large portion, but Lloyd Pierce, due to some circumstances other than directly dealing with Cam Reddish, he ends up losing his job. Interim coach Nate McMillan goes on to lead the Hawks into a great second half of the season, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals and challenging the eventual champion Milwaukee Bucks. And arguably probably could have took them to 7 and maybe even beat them had Trae Young not gone down from injury. But neither here nor there. You saw the flashes after Cam came back in the playoffs against the Bucks. He showed those flashes. I think he had 6 threes in game 6, 21 points or something of that nature, to where he was just at times the only offense that we were able to generate. Fast forward to this season, dealt with some injuries early. So did DeAndre Hunter, who was his draft classmate and essentially plays a similar type position. That 3 they both can play, but Cam can go down to the 2. Dre probably could too, but he can also go up to the 4. Either way, Cam Reddish still at the beginning of the season coming off the bench, him and Kevin Huerter. Now, this is no slight to anyone that is starting. This is no slight to any of the Hawks players. But there's no way, in my personal opinion, that he should ever have been coming off the bench after what he showed after not playing for the majority of the season and then coming in the playoffs doing what he did. Just no excuse, in my opinion. Bogey, I get it because of the fact that, Bogey had some historic numbers last year shooting, especially when Trey was out. I get it, but we know what Bogdan Bogdanovic is. We know what he is. He is an exceptional shooter. Exceptional. Elite even at shooting, especially in the catch and shoot. Bogey's not going to be the guy that break you down off the dribble. Bogey's not going to be the guy to lock you up defensively, but he is a shooter, and that works well with being next to Trae Young. What doesn't work well being next to Trae Young is a guy who is not known as an exceptional defender. And while Cam still has some growing pains in that area, his physique and athletic ability alone make him a better option than Bogey, in my opinion. But I'll digress. I'll give you Bogey. Okay? Because he was shooting the ball crazy last year. So, okay, Cam, you're not going to start over Bogey, who just had that season. Fast forward, Bogey gets hurt. Kevin Huerter. He is inserted into the starting lineup, has a little experience over Cam. He stayed for a year long. He's been there a year longer than Cam. He came in the same draft that brought Trey. Kev is another great shooter. Better defender than Bogey, in my opinion. Also, more of an offensive repertoire. He can bring the ball up. Bogey can do that too, but he can bring the ball up. Kevin would be better served getting his own shot than Bogey, allowing to be getting his own shot. But other than that, neither he or Bogey should be starting over Cam, in my opinion. But still, they were bringing Cam off the bench. He dealt with a little wrist injury, whatever the case may be. Kevin Huerter goes out, and they start Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot. In my mind, I get it, but it's stupid. You put your best 5 players out there on the court. Why are you starting TLC if you got Cam Reddish coming off the bench? Why? I don't understand it. I just don't. Like Cam Reddish, as you can see, his numbers since starting, 23.8, 45% shooting from the field, 3.8 rebounds, 44% from three, and that's with 8.5 attempts a game, 2.5 assists, 88% free throw shooter. So he is shooting the ball well. In addition, the stats that are not there is his ability to just be disruptive on the defensive end. He has a 7'2" wingspan. He has quick hands, and he's always swiping and jumping into passing lanes. He gets a lot of steals, or deflections rather. Why are you starting TLC? Why? I just don't get it. Or at least I didn't get it. But I started thinking about it. I started looking at the Hawks roster. As everyone knows, we paid John Collins this offseason. Paid Trae Young this offseason. Paid Clint Capella a little before both of those. And we paid Kevin Huerter. So that leaves our young core pretty much intact with the exception of DeAndre Hunter, who's on his 3rd year as well, and Cam Reddish. Fast forward, if we have all of those guys under contract, we also have Bogey under contract for 2 more seasons, including this one. Fast forward, those guys are going to become eligible for their Supermax rookie extension after this season. Be kind of difficult considering all the money that the Hawks gave out to sign both of those guys to the max rookie extension. Also, it'll be kind of hard to give them that rookie max if they haven't had the production that is suitable for a rookie max. Of course, we knew Luka was going to get it. We knew Trey was going to get it. We knew that Jason Tatum, when his time came, that he was going to get it. Those guys have produced within their first 2 years to where that 3rd year came around, the writing was on the wall. I was kind of on the fence about Michael Porter Jr., but we knew what he could do, and he started during that second season being a really big piece for the Denver Nuggets. Unfortunately, injuries are hampering him, kind of like they're doing DeAndre Hunter. So my thought process, especially after seeing what I'm about to share, is that maybe, just maybe, they don't want Cam to get off, not just yet, or they feel like they can win without Cam getting off. I'm not so sure about that, especially after this season, how it started. I'm not so sure about that, but I'm thinking that it may be some truth to that after looking at Cam Reddish's recent Instagram post where he says, try to block me out, blackball, but they see me now. I don't know if that's in reference to Lloyd Pierce. I don't know if that's in reference to Nate McMillan or whoever is in charge, but clearly he feels some type of way about not being in the limelight, in the starting lineup where I feel like he should be. Maybe they did that just so they won't have to pay him that much money, because best believe when you get in there and you are in those contract negotiation tables, they're looking at what you've done, not what you have the potential to do. We know what Cam's potential is. We know what he's capable of. He hasn't done it yet. He's starting to do it now that he's in the starting lineup, but it'll be interesting to see whether or not once everybody gets back healthy and out of the protocol, which I don't know when that's going to be, let's see if Cam gets relegated back to the bench. If so, I think they might have to do some damage control when it comes to it. But at the end of the day, for all of the people saying the Hawks not going to be able to sign this person and that person, you got to give somebody up, you got to do this. People, we drafted these guys, which means we have their bird rights after that third year. Any contract that they want to sign, we have the right to match the offer, even if it takes us over the salary cap. If we don't want them to go anywhere, they're not going to go anywhere, okay? So stop with they got to trade Cam Reddish now. They got to. So even if we push him back to the bench, once everybody is healthy, which I think will be a huge mistake, because honestly, I'm going to tell you this. I think that he's the key to making another run. But even if we push him back to the bench after this season, if we don't get a contract done, he'll come up on his fourth year. We'll still be able to match any and everything that anybody offers him. And if they want to give him the max and we're not ready to match that, then he's gone. But we always have the option. Travis Sling is a smart man. He understands that. And I think what he's doing, in my personal opinion, kind of waiting and seeing. Bogey's 29 years old. He's not getting any better. He is who he is. He's a shooter. Cam Reddish is 22. DeAndre Hunter, I think, is 24. Either way it goes, those guys are much younger and they have a lot left in the tank. A lot of room left to improve. So I think after this fourth year, or maybe after the third year, they start looking at moving Bogey. I think he'd be moved before any of those guys. A team want a reliable shooter. Granted, he's getting $18 million a year with a 15% trade kicker. So he has to be the final piece. But keep in mind, people, Bogey was a throw-in for us. We weren't supposed to have him in the first place. The Bucks got him. And then once we found out they tampered, that deal was null and void. The Hawks slid in, gave him an offer he could not refuse, and that nobody, especially the Sacramento Kings, wanted to match. A 4-year, $72 million deal with a 15% trade kicker. They would have accepted that. They might not have had the money to sign. What's my guy name? De'Aaron Fox. So I think that this was strategically done to gain a place in the place that we are right now for the Hawks, to gain some momentum going forward and building a championship team. And you see it worked. Bogey was stellar, especially in the first round. He got banged up in the second round. And of course, in the third round, he was just, a shell of himself, to be completely honest. But he started to gradually get better. But Trey going down screwed all that up. I think that he'll be the first to go if anybody is moved. I would like, honestly, to move Clint Capella, but that's another story. I think Bogey will be the first to go. He has that 15% trade kicker, so he's going to go to some place that really, really needs him and is willing to pay him that 18 mil plus that 15. So I think that Cam Reddish is the key, though, to the Hawks run. Putting Trae Young on the court with two elite perimeter defenders, with him and DeAndre Hunter, who have the potential to be elite perimeter defenders and offensive threats. is the key to unlocking the Hawks championship run. I think John Collins, as great as he's been, and I love John Collins because he is absolutely the Swiss Army knife. He can fit into any offense in the NBA today and be successful. He's a good, efficient shooter from all phases of the floor. He's getting better on help side defense. He's becoming sort of a rim protector, and we all know he a highlight reel. But I think he's miscast as that number 2 guy. I do. I think he's miscast as that number 2 guy. I think Cam Reddish is better suited because he's a 20-point scorer consistently. I think he can consistently give us 20 some odd points, 22 points a game, and play some good defense on the perimeter. And with him and DeAndre on the floor at the same time, I think that we could lock up anybody. Kind of in the mold, not saying that they're the same, but kind of in the mold of PG and Kawhi Leonard playing on the same team at the same time. If they both are healthy, good luck. All your perimeter needs are locked up. All you need is a good shot blocker behind you, and they're going to guide him in that direction. But let me know what y'all guys think, man. Go ahead and comment, like this video, share it with any of the fellow Hawks fans, and let me know what y'all think, honestly. Also, make sure you tune in every Tuesday night to Man Down Podcast Network with me and the guys. We get on here, we talk sports, we laugh, we kick it. It's broadcasted on Facebook every Tuesday between 9 and 9:30. Also on YouTube as well. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, go type in Man Down Podcast, and you be sure to check us out. For right now, Man Down Zo. I'll be back soon. Peace.